Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be talking about brows. I have to be honest, I don't like doing my brows. I feel like that's weird. I feel kind of embarrassed to say it, but it's true. I don't like doing my brows. Whenever I get to the point where I'm like, okay, brow time, it just like ruins my day. I love my right brow. I feel like it's the shape I want, but then the left one does not behave. They're not twins, they're sisters. So today we're going to be talking about two products from the drugstore, and I'm going to be talking about the Revlon ColorStay Brow Pencil and the Milani Stay Put Brow Color. So this is a pomade and this is a brow pencil, and I'm going to be using them both, and one is on my right eyebrow and the other one is on my left eyebrow. So I'm gonna be telling you if they're good, if they're bad, how to work with them, and all about that. So let's get on with the video. Okay guys, so I'm gonna be doing my right eyebrow with the Revlon ColorStay Brow Pencil, and I'm using it in the shade dark brown. So I'm just gonna show you what I do with it, and I'm gonna kind of tell you what I really think about it. So one of the things that I don't really like about this brow pencil is the fact that it's a little bit too thick. The pencil itself, the product itself, it's kind of too wide. I like my brow pencils to be a little bit more defined, a little bit more thin, so that I can actually do little strokes on my eyebrows, and that way it wouldn't seem so thick. But with this one, you do end up with a thick line because it is thick. But the formula itself is not that bad. So I'm gonna start off by doing a line at the bottom of my lash. And once I've done that, I'm gonna kind of keep it going and do my arch. So I always like to start at the bottom, basically, my bottom line. I always go in with my finger a little bit just in case I see something that needs to be fixed. I'm happy with that. And now I'm gonna start doing little strokes in the areas that I may have a little bit, you know, in the sparse areas of my brow. And I'm trying to go from the thinnest area that I can find on the brow pencil. I do like my brows a little bit more natural. I don't like them to be very much, I wouldn't say defined, but I don't like them to be too harsh. I like it when they seem a little bit more natural. So that's what I'm going for. So once I've done this kind of strokes right here, I'm gonna finish up a little bit on the top of the brow and the arch. Here, I like to do mini strokes as well in the same direction as the hair grows. So here my hair grows this way. Here my hair grows this way. So I do my strokes in the same direction as the hair grows, and that's gonna make it seem a little bit more natural, because once you blend everything in and you use this spoolie, it's gonna make it seem a little bit more natural, more soft, because it's gonna go in the same direction. I honestly don't end up filling in my whole brow just because I feel like I don't need to. Because again, I'm looking for the natural finish. Okay, so I'm happy with the way I filled everything in, and now I'm gonna blend everything. So I like to start off at the bottom. I don't apply that much pressure, and then when I see the line, I like to blend it upwards and sideways, because I feel like that way the bottom line gets a little bit more diffuse and more blended, and you end up with a more natural looking brow. So when I'm blending my eyebrows and everything, I do see some kind of blank spots, so that's when I go in the second time and I just slightly fill them in, so that once I go in and blend it all over again, I have some more of a shadow. Like I said, I'm blending it, but not too much pressure, so that we don't really move and take away all of the product. You can always go in and fill in where you need to. I do have to say that I'm not a fan of eyebrows. I just hate doing my eyebrows. I know it's weird, but it's just so tedious. I do have to warn you that this pencil crumbles a little bit. That's why I like to do very light strokes so that it's not that much product and it won't crumble as much. Overall, I like it, but I don't like it. I really like the color. I love the spoolie that it comes with because it's not too stiff, but it does the job. So sometimes you find these spoolies that are kind of too soft and I feel like they don't really blend everything in, or at least they have not worked for me. But this spoolie I do really like. It is a very pigmented product, so a little bit goes a long way. I don't really have to go in that much, but I don't like the fact that it crumbles. I just hate it. I end up with little blackish spots in my face and around my brows. So that's something that you do have to take in consideration. But at the end of the day, it is a drugstore product and it does the job. So you actually see I did this very easily, very fast, but also it does help you when you are in a rush. It's easier for me to grab a pencil instead of a pomade. You know, you have your cons, you have your pros. At the end of the day, I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. So we're gonna move on with the pomade, and I'm gonna be wearing it on my left brow. And actually, I'm gonna be using I almost drowned there. Wait, drown? No. Choke. Ha. And actually, I'm gonna be using the same pencil that it comes with. The only thing I did to this pencil was the fact that I cut a little bit of the bristles. So when I opened it up, I saw that the brush was a little bit too thick for my opinion. Like I said, I like the strokes or the lines that I'm gonna be doing in my brows to be as thin as possible. For me, it is a way to achieve a more natural and precise brow. So what I did is that I cut kind of half of the bristles. So not this way, but like this way. So instead of having it so wide, I reduced it a little bit. It has worked perfectly for me. I do think that it is a very good brush. It has some stiff to it, but it's not too harsh where it's gonna hurt your skin or anything like that. It does the job really, really well. So I'm gonna be grabbing a little bit of the pomade, and this is in the shade Brunette. So I like to grab a little bit of the product and then kind of taking it on my hand so that I don't have that much of product on my brush. So like I did on the other brow, I like to start off on the bottom, just creating a line right there. Now here is where this brow gets tricky because I have some sort of spare area right here. So I have to kind of continue the arch without ruining. And now I like to do my little strokes. If I feel like I'm missing a little bit more product, I like to go in on my hand and place more. Now this pomade does dry a little bit fast. So since I know that, I'm gonna blend everything in before I do my whole brow. And I'm doing the same thing I did on my other brow, upwards and sideways. Honestly, that's been my holy grail when doing my brows because it does blend in the product really well and it helps me not have such dark brows. I'm gonna place a little bit more of the product and blend it. I always try to make my brows look as similar as possible, but just that even the shape of them, I try to shape them the same, but nope, they don't collaborate with me. And since here I don't have that many hairs, so I like to go in, kind of have 2 or 3 layers of the product to make it a little bit more intense. Honestly, I don't worry that much about the top part of my brow because if I were to define more that area, I would end up with a very strong eyebrow, and that's not what I'm looking for. So that is it for the homemade. It does dry quickly, so you have to keep that in mind when doing your brows with it. It is a really nice formula. It is kind of buildable, but you have to let it dry and then kind of pack your brush a little bit more so that once you're applying the new layer, you're not dragging the first one. So it's kind of tricky to work with in my opinion, but I do feel like it's a really good product. It is really pigmented, but I'm not such a fan of the color. It's very warm. It's not as cool tone as the ColorStay one. It's a lot more warmish. So I do feel like you have to kind of find your routine and the technique you have to use them, because both of them I feel like they're kind of tricky to use, but at the end of the day they're from the drugstore. They are at a very affordable price. So no matter what eyebrow product I'm using, I always go in and top everything up with a L'Oreal Plumper Stylist Brow. I forgot the name, I'm sorry. It's just, there's no name tag anymore. I've been so in love with this product that and used it so much that there's just no label anymore. It is in the shade medium to dark. I just love it, especially when I'm having these no makeup days. Oh my god, I wear this by itself and it's just the greatest. So I just run it through my eyebrows and I go sideways here, kind of like go upwards and then sideways, and then on the tail of my brow I like to go outwards, and then with my finger I just kind of bring the edge of it down so that it looks like I have such a fuller brow, when in reality I'm just trying to cover my blank areas. And that's it. Now you have beautiful natural brows. So this is basically what I always look for in my brows. Like I said, I'm not such a fan of doing my brows, but honestly I've found some love in these products. I do think that they're very good. They do the job. They make it a little bit more easy. You just have to find the way to use them. So that is it for today's video. I hope that I gave you some more insight on both of these products. If you try them, let me know what you think about them in the comment section below. And don't forget to like and share this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can be notified when the next video is up. And I'll see you on the next one.